shot, but it was blocked. And there, kicked back intentionally by Peter Carr, the defenseman, to Kevin Keelan. And he's giving his defenseman a little...
Kevin Keelan saying, I think, two things. A, don't let Naskins shoot like that because he's dangerous from 25 yards out. And also, be quicker on those rebounds because the shot rebounded and it was up for grabs. And that defender should have been first to that rebound.
The long punt downfield, that was about a 60-yarder, but they lost the ball, was the bottom line on it. And Ricebergen has it, being harried by Weller. Now Keita, and we have a whistle.
I think the Cosmos are going to get that kick. They're calling Keita for obstruction on that. He sort of ran in front of Ricebergen as Ricebergen was trying to follow up the ball. He pushed past Keita.
That means an indirect free kick on which you cannot score directly. It must touch another player. So here comes across the field to Marinho. The left fullback today, remember? Not in midfield where he has been. Headed out by Turner. Turner, who is marking Kanaï. Brian Albertson's. On the right side, we have Weller, who's normally on the left. He's coming down the right side this time. Stolen away by
I think an example there of just how strong in the tackle Naskins can be. He's wearing this number 13, which many people wonder why on earth he would pick that number, but he seems to be very happy with it. Coming through again very quickly onto that ball.
All right, there's Dennis Stewart, number 7, getting it over to Bogicevic. In towards Kanaï, but headed away by Turner. Remember, his job today is to stop Kanaï, to keep him covered at all times. Mourinho now, he can shoot, and does. Misses. So it'll be a goal kick. Once again, it was put over the end line by the offensive team, so the defense will put it in play.
This is the steal. Naskins coming through, takes the ball away. Look, he just gets his foot in there quickly. He is so strong and so skillful at getting the ball. Pushes the ball downfield. It came back, and then he stole it again. So we got 2 steals for the price of 1 on that.
A long drop kick this time.
Well, he can certainly kick the ball a long way, Keelan. I think, how old is Keelan supposed to be?
37.
We were told he might admit to 38, we were told.
All right, here is New England from left to right on the attack. No score in the game so far. Still the early going. That's Weller, number 14, with Ricebergen all over him.
And he's got a corner kick out of Ricebergen there, I think.
All right, this, again, if you're new to soccer, there's a good look at Ricebergen, by the way, the Dutchman. He's a tough, hard defenseman. Corner kick is a key offensive move. You can score from it directly, or you can more normally cross the ball, center it. Somebody else will try to get a head on it. The ball is blowing away a little bit.
Having trouble. There's no ball on the artificial turf. It's very difficult to make it stand still. It's still moving. Well, he's going to kick it anyway.
And
a defender. Again, Chris Turner, the defender, right up on a corner kick.
Another corner kick. Yep.
Well, everybody baffled by that. And, of course, the giveaway there is not only the Cosmos players baffled, who you would expect to say, oh, no, that couldn't be a corner, but also the New England players baffled by it.
All right, Weller centers it in. It was Turner that got a head on it, and...
He got a head on it, and he got a hand on one or 2 Cosmos players, pushing against Turner.
Pushing off. Now, if that foul had gone in the other direction, we would have had a penalty kick. But we'll discuss that when it happens. All right, up to Vladislav Bogicevic of Yugoslavia. Intercepted by Cantillo.
Nice ball control by Cantillo, but snatched away again by Naskins. Cantillo.
Again, Cantillo, born in Costa Rica, now an American citizen. To Keith Weller, the captain of New England. New England players are all very suntan, I noticed. I asked them why. They said, well, they all live in the same townhouse complex, and they go out by the pool every afternoon when they're not practicing. Most of them are also part-time golfers. Right now, they're trying to stop and to attack against the most famous team in American soccer.
Cosmos moving a lot of people forward very quickly.
That was Stewart, almost with a chance in the middle.
And, of course, when you move a lot of people forward very quickly, if you lose the ball, you better get a lot of people back very quickly. So there's going to be a lot of running done here.
Here's the young American, Rick Davis, 20 years old, but he's been coming along so fast. Has 7 assists this year. Now Mourinho, the Brazilian. Over to Bogicevic from Yugoslavia. Kinalia got a chest on it. Now a foot, another foot, but over the line it goes.
I think a corner kick.
That's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah. The giveaway is Keelan's despairing lunge there to stop that ball going over. If he'd been sure that had been played by one of the Cosmos players, he'd just have let it go.
Another quick look at that one while they set up for the corner kick.
Get back.
No time. Here we go. Back into play. Marinho wants to shoot, and he does. Saved by Keelan.
Well, again, this a left foot shot from Mourinho. Because he's playing in the left back slot, he's going to get more shots on his left foot. He is a right-footed player, but he has a tremendous shot with both feet. With both feet, with either feet. with either foot.
Either foot.
Yes.
Or as we say,
well, both feet sounds as though he's using them both at the same time, which of course he is not.
All right, fair enough. New England in the red and yellow. Cosmos in white. No score. There are 31 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first half. Continuous action in the sport of soccer. Marinho. Boy, he's been in this ball game a lot, hasn't he? But he loses it this time to Ringo Cantillo. Quickly down to Vern Lundquist with Coach Cantwell.
Thank you, Jim. We're with Noel Cantwell. Noel, you didn't make your decisive lineup make up until right before the game. Why?
No. Well, I wasn't sure whether Keita was going to be able to play with a hamstring. As you can see, he's got a strapping. And I thought it would be best if we try to get him out there and see, because he is a player that can win the game on his own. And I thought on this occasion I would take a chance with Keita. So I left Roger Gibbons out, who's a defender, and put Keita in. So,
have things gone about how you thought they would?
They're going all right, yes. It's a settling down period, and we're just feeling each other out. We're picking up man for man. We're just getting caught a few times in midfield with Brian Alderson letting his player go. But it's going all right.
Okay, Noel. Jim?
Okay, thank you, Vern.
Because what he's talking about there, Jim, when he says Brian Alderson letting his player go, his player has to be Naskins, of course.
Right.
That's another of the matchups, although the midfield matchups are not as tight as the offense-defense matchups.
Well, there's Rick Davis. He's been on the left most of the game. There he's on the right side this time. Getting it across to Reisbergen, the defender, the blonde number 15, to Davis, who immediately kicks it over to the near side and loses possession. There's Keita. It'll be a throw-in for the Cosmos. You must keep your feet still and throw the ball with both hands from back over your head. Carlos Alberto moving it in to Naskins, back on one touch to Alberto. To Naskins again. Two great players there. Headed away by Carr.
This is Daly, who we have not seen much of in the game so far.
No. New England not able to maintain position.
Well, New England, I think, are keeping more men back than the Cosmos. In other words, and this is standard in soccer, this is an away game for New England. They would expect to play a bit more defensively here, so that when they break, they're not going to be able to break quickly because they don't have anybody up front.
Okay, here comes Keita. King Keita, they call him. Long-legged, looks like a hurdler, doesn't he?
Well, that's
heels it back. A shot by Weller. Wide. The action goes on. It's live, and we'll be back.
Here comes the Budweiser.
Between the Cosmos and the New England Tea Men as we come to you live from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Jim McKay with Paul Gardner here. A throw-in for the Cosmos in their home uniforms of white. There are now 22 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. Here comes King Keita of New England from the Republic of Mali in West Africa. He's played all of his career, for the most part, until very recently, in Europe, in France, in Spain, and in Portugal, where he's recognized as one of the top players on the continent. All right. Here it comes to Marinho again, the defender who's been down in offensive territory as much as he's been in his own half of the field. Getting it to Stewart. Stewart tendering it intended for Canaglia, but again headed away by Chris Turner.
You see one of the problems with a defender attacking. Mourinho was all the way up. This is where he should be if he's a defender. Nobody. At last, that's Kandarian, the right back, comes across to cover. But that is a problem when defenders go up. They leave gaps behind them, and they must be covered by other defensive players. That time, that gap was not covered.
Carlos Alberto now, number 5, moving it down again to Mourinho. He hardly comes back at all. He's been in midfield. Or
seems to think he's still in midfield. Yes. Leverage getting past this man.
Oh. And that should be a corner kick for the Cosmos. One other game being played this afternoon in the North American Soccer League. After 15 minutes, Philadelphia and Washington no score. Washington in second place in their division behind the Cosmos, and not all that far behind. The corner kick by Leverage, grabbed by Keelan.
Not the best thing to do with a corner kick. As you mentioned earlier, a corner kick can be a good offensive weapon, but really the last thing you want to do is to kick it straight to the goalkeeper, especially a goalkeeper as strong and commanding in the air as Kevin Keelan is. Now this is Naskins trying to force an error from Keelan, but of course the goalkeeper of Keelan's experience, he hasn't done it.
Nope. Up to Cantillo again in midfield. Ringo's been playing a pretty good game, it appears to me.
He's a strong little man, he really is, and he's having a good game so far.
All right.
Getting a lot of the ball.
There he is again. He just stays in there all the time. Reed try and get the ball, but Eskandarian puts it out of bounds on the side, so that will be a throw-in. It's only when it goes over the end line that you get a goal kick or a corner kick. Eskandarian as you see. He's an Armenian, actually, although he lived in Iran formerly before he came here this year.
What's this? Ricebergen, well, you can see a gesture from Ricebergen there, which was directed to the referee and means, basically, you don't know what you're talking about, but the referee has the last word here, and he's given a free kick to New England. Keith Weller to take it.
Weller getting it into the middle. Reed tried for it. There's a shot up over the goal by Daly. Now, we said that he's an opportunist, and he does seem to have that quality of being at the right place at the right time.
Daly who sprung the ball loose, but I don't think that was Daly who took the shot. I think that was Alderson who took the shot.
Well, get another voice in the booth.
Daly springing the ball loose on the left of your screen there. Now, who is that? It is Daly taking the shot, you're right.
I would have sworn I said Daly.
Actually, you did. Yes.
Thank you. Here we go with Mourinho with the ball.
Mourinho again attacking.
Yeah. Carlos Alberto.
There's a terrific run by Naiskins on the far side, and the ball goes to him, but it's a little bit too high. That was another example of what we call off-the-ball work in soccer. Naiskins started running at full speed before Bogey even looked up. Bogey did look up, saw him, put the ball to him, but it was inches too high, just over his head.
He not only played in the World Cup final, as indicated on your screen, but he scored the only goal in the losing cause against Germany.
Well, actually, he played in 2 World Cup finals.
I said 2 World, but I said in one of them he scored the only goal.
Yes, he scored a penalty goal, the first goal of the game, in the first minute, actually, of the final in '74.
Okay, and that was Naiskins heading it into touch or out of bounds. So New England will try to move left to right. There are the shots so far. It's still nothing between the teams. Nobody's established authority. The long punt again by Keelan.
Well, these wacky great long punts by Keelan. I think the Cosmos, for all the pressing they've done, might have expected to have a bigger advantage in shots.
Bogicevic now. Over to Kanaya. Boy, he's had very little looking at the ball so far today. Battling him for it is Carr. And then Alderson, and some booing from the home fans. They get on Giorgio very quickly here.
Giorgio Canella is used to that. I don't think he even hears it anymore. No doubt he doesn't like it, but it happens so often here. How you can boo somebody who's the league's leading scorer remains a bit of a mystery to me.
All right, now New England again. Here's Keita. Daly's going down the middle. Reed is on the left. Weller's on the right. There's Reed looking for it. Oh, Iskandarian kicking it away. He's the one just back into action after missing a lot of games with a fractured cheekbone that he got in the game here. Now Carlos Alberto and Naiskins. Must take a little while for these fellas to get to know each other, to sense each other's moves, doesn't it, Paul?
A new player coming in like Naiskins. I spoke to him about this before the game, and he sort of shrugged and he said it could happen like that, flicking his fingers, or it could take a little time. I said, what do you mean by little time? He said, oh, half an hour. Well, I think he's confident.
Bogicevic said something like that to me, too. He cut it down to 10 minutes. I still have a feeling it may take a game or two.
Bogey the optimist, yeah. Well, we should mention that Naiskins does have a problem. He practiced only twice on his artificial turf. He's got some horrendous blisters on his feet, which have come just from the lack of shoe movement on this field.
After you play on it for a while, you get calluses and get hardened to it. But right now, he has the blisters. And here comes Bogicevic now.
Strong run by Bogicevic, bursting between Cantillo and Reed there.
Okay, there's Bogey again. Bogey shaved for the game today. Usually has about a day and a half growth of beard. There's Mourinho. That'll be a goal kick for New England. No score and 21 minutes left. We're back again live, and we have a bit of an altercation on the playing field. Dennis Stewart of the Cosmos was involved, and I can't catch this man's number yet. Can you, Paul?
Yeah.
Number 3 is that?
Carr.
That's Peter Carr, the defenseman, and a yellow card is going to Dennis Stewart. That is a caution. 2 yellow cards, and you're out of the game.
A rough tackle, if you like, from Carr, and Stewart retaliated. It's one of these long kicks from goalkeeper Keelan, comes down. Naiskins, you'll see, goes to the ball. Naiskins hits it forward. There it goes. Now Stewart goes for it, and you see there's a body block by Carr there. Stewart jumps up, and